We're getting a look at some of the most advanced student-built robots in the country. They're coming from right here in West Michigan. The last several weeks, we've been highlighting the Grandville RoboDawgs. I mean, they are world champions in high school robotics, and today they're giving us a hands-on look at the future of autonomous tech. Wow.
So impressive to me.
Yeah, so joining us this morning, head coaches Doug Hepfer, Mike Evely. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. See, right on the money. Former team captain and GVSU student Tigran Gregorian, and one of the program's biggest supporters, Dakota Greenman from Westwood AI. Doug, let's start with you. You were here on our very first segment with the Grandville RoboDawgs. I am just so impressed by all of the things that you guys have brought in to show us. What are we taking a look at here, and how does this tie into the program?
We brought two of our most sophisticated programs in today. We try to think about things that would really show you what kids are capable of.
Yeah.
Over the years, our robots have evolved from basic things you play with a joystick to robots that are totally autonomous. And the robots you see here go play the game by themselves. They're fully under program control. They represent the most advanced program a student can do in any competitive high school team in America.
So just for the audience at home, autonomous is they are running by itself. It like does it by itself, which is so interesting. Why is it important to give students, you know, in your program access to this type of equipment here, so they can kind of figure things out here?
So we started, Mike and I, 18 years ago. There was one high school team, right? And it was a big toy with a joystick. It's called First Robotics. And you drive around these big toys with a joystick. This technology wasn't available until maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And we first did autonomous boats. We actually built our own hardware and ran autonomous boats at Millennium Park.
Wow.
We find it important. Tigran's a great example. He came through and became one of our advanced programmers. He was able to take this drone and make it fly a course for 7 minutes, go take off, go find things, collect them, go somewhere else, deliver them, and go home, all with software that keeps it in the air while performing those other tasks. That's really important when kids get to a point of being able to handle basic programming. When they do this, they go off to colleges, and colleges say, hey, please come here, let's give you some money, let's give you a scholarship, and employers line up to get kids like him.
Yeah, that's so
absolutely.
cool.
I was going to say, I feel like we can skip college. Well, I don't want to skip college.
Cover his ears, cover his ears.
But I mean, that's really impressive stuff, the fact that you're already able to do this without a college level education. I mean, that's really, really impressive. Now, Mike, you helped to start the original Grandville Robotics team back in 1998. Could you have ever imagined what it evolved into?
I could not have imagined what this was going to evolve into. We, back in '98, we were just struggling to figure out how to build a robot, how to get the parts, and put the team together. So where this has evolved is beyond anything I can imagine.
Let's talk about the Bell AVR competition. What is that, and what is the challenge associated with that?
The Bell AVR competition is advanced vertical robotics, and it plays, like Doug said, in a cage that is 40 by 20.
Yep.
And the robot, generally, the game deals with the robot picking something up and delivering it, whether it be little water balls or containers. And the robot is designed to do this autonomously. In fact, the more the students do autonomously, the more points they get. So our students have been pretty good at figuring out how to get the robot to do this on its own. It's got forward and bottom-facing cameras. There are symbols on the field called April tags that the robot actually reads. And when it reads an April tag, it knows what to do at that location.
Okay, and of course we're taking a look at some pictures, this being the past year, first place in AVR. I mean, that's really, really cool. And this is only a program that started within the last several years, right?
Within the last 3 or 4 years,
okay,
yeah.
So I
and
mean,
it's sponsored by Bell Aviation.
Okay, and just how this program has grown and the success of it, can you speak to that?
Yes, the students are, we take them through FIRST Robotics and VEX Robotics, and they just needed another challenge. They needed to go a little further and kind of push the envelope, and that's what this particular program does, is it challenges them to go to the next step.
It's pretty cool. Tigran, you were highlighted as a prime example from this entire program here. I know that you were involved in VEX. Can you speak to the VEX AI robot and kind of what that does?
Yeah, so the VEX AI robot, well, start off, VEX is a competition between 4 robots, and 2 of which are part of your team, and you control them with autonomous code. And VEX AI takes that and expands it to the entire match length. So in Vexus AI, you use a Jetson Nano up here to control the robot autonomously to use sensors and our data to complete objectives that the game wants you to do.
That's pretty cool.
And you captained this competition last year, correct?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It went pretty good. We won the world championship, and we were also
That was pretty good.
That was amazing. And your expectations, did you have the competition yet this year or not yet?
not yet. No.
Okay, when's it coming up? How are you feeling?
I'm not in it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not in it now.
No,
Okay,
I
I'm sorry.
graduated.
But you have just graduated. You're at
Right.
GVSU now.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the team and what you're expecting from them in this next year coming up? I guess it would be the next year, right?
This fall.
This fall.
Yep.
I'm expecting to do better. I mean, each year, everyone gets better. You learn more, and I hope the lessons learned from last year and the failures that we went through become the successes that they go through this year.
Yeah. If there's one thing that you could look back on throughout your entire career with Grandville Robotics, what is that one thing that you would highlight? I mean, obviously, you have to have some pretty special memories, but have also had to have learned a lot, right?
Yeah, so I believe the most important thing I've learned from robotics in Grandville is the ability to cooperate and manage your different teams. I apply this where I work at Westwood AI, and I also apply this at college, and I think those lessons learned and being able to communicate with people has really helped me manage the adult world.
Yeah. What are you majoring in right now?
Computer engineering.
Okay, so that tracks something way over my head, but clearly something that you've picked up on and are able to expand on. What about the skills you learned in high school, and how are you applying that to what you're learning now at GVSU?
The skills I learned in high school were, of course, autonomy programming, and I'm applying it in some of my classes at GV, also applying it to clubs I want to create or join in the following years.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with your computer engineering degree?
Eventually, I want to create a system to control UAVs. They're little drones, and I want them to complete autonomous tasks that will hopefully betterment society in different ways, including delivering hospital supplies, anything else really like in that little area.
What about I'm sure the sky's the limit with UAVs, right? What are some, I mean, you mentioned that maybe delivering medical supplies might be one way. What are some other ways that could be applied?
Well, I'm applying it right now in roofing currently.
Okay.
And surveying properties, and it's also very unique, and I think that's another good area for it to be popular in mainstream technology.
Very cool. And you mentioned that you guys work very closely together now. This is Dakota with Westwood AI. What sort of things do you have him working on when he's with your company?
So Tigran jumped on right after high school as a lead engineer in a project as we looked at tackling roofing inspections, right, for UAVs, right? Right now the industry is pretty weighed down, we'll say, by manual inspectors or roofers that need to get up on the roof to draw circles and take pictures, the whole process. We looked at that and we go, quite frankly, the technology is there to circumnavigate that. So we bring Tigran on and a group of other interns, and in an afternoon, legitimately, we have Tigran and a few other engineers make a model or a working prototype that superseded what was in the industry.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
what he's able to bring in individuals like Tigran are invaluable to a business owner.
A brilliant mind right here in West Michigan and making a difference in West Michigan as well. From a business perspective, I mean, what is it like for you to see students like this coming into the industry, and what does that look like to have experience like this on their resumes?
It couldn't be any more valuable from a business perspective, right? We were talking through the application. We just looked like a Roof Ranger, but looking at when we first got introduced to the RoboDawgs, and I got introduced or invited to come take a tour of a robotics program at a middle school, we'll say I had pretty low expectations. But walking through there, I realized pretty quickly that I couldn't have been any more wrong.
Right.
What we saw there, not just from a tech side and facility side, it was the culture in which these kids were growing up in, right? And they were translatable right from what they had in RoboDawgs was perfect fit, for the industry. They came in, they knew how to do real-world applications and analyze problems, and they were solving in real-time problems that I knew were plaguing the industry, and a lot of money was getting thrown at. So it was that was the basis for how they were so successful.
Yeah, this is just one of many examples, Doug, of the success that's come out of your program, not only in the competition side, but also the real-life application side of this. Can you just translate into words what that means to you as somebody who's really been at the forefront of this program for so long, but also what that means for the skills that even some of your your youngest learners in what, second grade, are learning right now, and they're going to continue on throughout their entire career.
This technology is going to be pervasive in society when he's 50 years old. It's expanding. The cost is coming down. The applications are getting broader. This is a skill set that we need in West Michigan. We have kids in Grandville, in a pretty typical middle-class town, in a pretty middle-class school in the middle of the country, who are getting exposed to something that's world-class. We're creating a class of workers who will say, I can come back to West Michigan and get a job at places like Westwood AI and use skills like this. And technology doesn't have to be something I have to leave the area and go work somewhere 2,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So we're creating a workforce that West Michigan needs. We're helping to host this Fall Tech Week with the Right Place organization. In September, we're going to gather 60 employees and thousands of students to expose students to tech jobs in West Michigan and expose employers to the kind of skills kids are learning in school. So this is where all the kids need to go. If you're interested in engineering, engineering is not a philosophical or theoretical pursuit. Math is great, but being able to apply it like this is something most kids don't get till they get out of college.
Yeah.
And this guy left high school. He was a world champion in high school. He was a state champion in VEX. When Dakota came in the first time, he showed Dakota these robots and explained the programming.
Yeah.
And Dakota had a couple of guys with him. Their eyes are this big going, oh my gosh, this little guy with his big brain is doing all this stuff.
Very cool. Well, unfortunately,
impressive.
we have about 10 seconds left. We could talk all day about this. We're going to have much more on the Grandville Robotics team here on 13 Plus, available for you to watch on demand.